Debate live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Neil, Sensual Goat, Adam, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server, so welcome one and all.
See, that's going to confuse people when you say Adam, because they're going to think the Adam Meakin.
The price of Adam?
There you go.
There's just more than one Adam in the world. There's more than one Nathan Neil. There's more than one Neil, you might be shocked to hear. I will cope, I promise. Adam is the Adam Meakin, isn't he? Or is
That's
Adam's
correct.
Adam? Adam's Adam. We're all fine with our names. We're all going to cope, Neil. But thank you for this being the opening to my live show. Jolly good stuff. Any evidence of Earth curve?
Hopefully Mr. Price will bring some value to the show.
I mean, I certainly try.
He's whispering into his mic in case anyone's wondering why he's got more of the proximity effect than I do, which is outrageous. Anywho, any evidence of Earth curve, or formerly known as Earth curve, geometric horizons?
That's a negative.
It's been a long time since we had Earth curve presented to us in an evidentiary way. I mean, it must be rolling on for years. I literally can't remember the last time someone came along. Normally they're trying to argue a fringe subject with this, right?
Yeah, but they still say the same things if they can go high enough up.
Not to us. They still make those arguments, but they just don't put them to us.
They do in chat.
Well, I'm not trying to... Okay, battle against me on this one, Neil. It's going to be a great segue into my point that I was going to make. Let's argue about this. Go ahead, Neil.
I'm just saying they still say in chat that if I can go high enough, we just can't get high enough now. That's
why.
And then
we're not in chat, though. I mean, I'm not typing now. We're having a live show talking about people who talk to us. Neil.
Well, if I invite them in, they don't come. What can I do?
So they don't come. Oh, right. Kind of like my point I was trying to make before you ruined it. They don't come. No, they don't come with these arguments anymore. You can hear them being made to other opponents out and about on TikTok or on X. But here on Flat Earth Debate, those arguments were overcome in 2020 with the Black Swan. Now, don't get me wrong, for a period, people still came with those arguments, and we just whispered Black Swan to them. Now they don't come at all, unless you want to tell me again that they do in chat, Neil.
Now that I know chat's not part of the show, I won't.
Not what I mean. Oh, God. You loved majoring on the minor part of each point I'm making here, or what? No, I'm not here to debate whether or not chat's part of the show.
No, they don't come here.
Make it a different point again. What's going on, Neil? What's going on? Bloody hellfire.
Well, you asked me a question. I said, no, they don't come here. Since the Black Swan and then Celestial Navigation, now pitch data, they won't come here.
Right, now you're working with me. Exactly. So the arguments we put forward proactively as flat earthers to a flat earth ends, those points are now debated with us with the brave few who choose to come here. They want to tell us how our flat earth measurements are wrong, or how our flat Earth measurements can still work with a ball. The tides have turned for us. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's not get delusions of grandeur.
I think Price of Adam wants to say something.
You don't have to use that. You just have to butt in. Take a note from Neil. Just barge your way in. Go ahead, Adam.
I was just trying to get everybody to have their point first. You know what I mean? Neil's. I understand what Neil's saying. In chat, they'll use anything, and they'll go back as many years as they have to into the bag as they can. But in the end, it comes down to brass tacks. It comes down to the nitty gritty, and that nitty gritty is going to be from level at 90, and every time. Earlier this year, we had this and even to now, we had to fight with our own, about measuring flat, about now we've got, this whole quote unquote experiment coming up. All we're doing is going backwards, and that's okay because we're here. We've moved forward from it, and we know how to do it, and we know how they do it, and we know how to show others how they do it. And that's the flat Earth debate difference.
That's the flat Earth debate difference. You really
Well
can
said.
taste it. Right, speaking of chat, so if you're in the chat right now, I was going to demean Neil's point, but I'm actually going to go with it instead, Neil. So feel free, chime up as much as you feel necessary in this regard. If you're in the chat now, first and foremost, welcome. Thank you for joining. Please share the show and all that stuff. I want to know, as a chat participant here and now, do you feel that, and it's going to be a little straw poll, that number one, the chat is a excellent resource, useful and worthy place to have a fruitful outcome in debate? That's one, if you think that it's basically net positive, very good place to be, useful, good, all the rest of it. That's a one in the chat. Or two, the pits. So one, if you think chat's a useful resource. Two, if you think it's the pits. Feel free to let me know in the chat what you think of the chat. I'm not saying comments, just the live chat. Now, that doesn't necessarily just mean my chat either, just flat Earth general live chats when you're in live streams generally, or anti-flat Earth. Just this format that you're partaking in now when you're in your keyboard with a stream of text from other people that are live now, participating with the show. Lots of twos coming through. That's what I'm talking about. Not just mine, but that bit, like YouTube live chat that goes by now. Do you think it's a useful resource? Type 1. If you think it's the pits, type 2. Put it up on screen.
Nathan, that brings me to yesterday, because you had Stinky Cash battling with one of us, and I just don't think he understands what we're talking about when we say Earth is measured flat. He keeps going back to a ball. So I invited him to come back in, or to come in at all, and he says he doesn't know how to do it. Now, I find that very deceiving.
6-5 in favour of being a useful resource so far. 1 and 2. That doesn't help very much, Swamp Rat Diesel. I mean, it's fairly even in terms of people's opinion on it. I'm surprised. I thought everyone would agree with my obvious bias that I put on my intonation when I said the pits, which is how I view it. And I think most people know that I view it that way. Did I even vote? One says Divergent Droids. I mean, no offence, Divergent Droid, and I still stand by everything I say about its absolute spectacular moderation that you have disseminated to others now. You've got others following in your footsteps, mate. Doesn't change my opinion. Chat is the pits, as far as I am concerned. In spite of you with your dustbuster at the refuse dump. Basically, Divergent Droid. That's why my admiration's so high for you, my friend. Sweep the hell ashes up. The flames will go down eventually.
What do you do with the ones that vote 1 and 2?
Well, I mean, maybe that'll be my attitude-adjusted view now that the consensus suggests that there's a bit more of a mixed opinion on what it actually does, because I don't spend a great deal of time in there. I mean, obviously I see it going by, and I want my moderation team to do a good job of keeping it clean, and I hope that it would be a useful resource, but that's all I've kind of got for it. But if people actually may, as they say, I don't know if that's true, when they say, oh, definitely a useful research 111, I'm like, I don't know what they... I can read too much into it also. It's just, maybe it'll change my opinion a little bit. Thank you very much, all of you who voted. It is useful to know what you think. If you're a participant, which you obviously are if you're typing. Please share the show if you've not done so already. 60 people watching. I'm sure we're going to have a bit of fun. We do have a video to cover. We will have a bit of a chit-chat before we do, though. Hello, Reflected.
Sorry.
Hey, Reflected.
Hey.
Hey. Hey, Neil.
Most of the people that are fighting against this right now at the moment are flat Earth believers. I don't think they know it's flat.
They come out of the woodwork every time we have a really good evidentiary standard being upheld or disseminated in a nice, concise way. Suddenly they all come out of the woodwork.
Well, what bothered me the other day was that I found out in the long show, maybe even after you were recording, that AI said that the pitch data argument is pretty much garbage because the Globers can say something else to refute it.
Was?
I think it had something to do with the, I'm trying to remember, with the gyroscope, that you're not getting any readings from the gyroscope or something.
Okay, and did we have some excellent combating of his position that he was putting to a debate forum to discuss? Or did everyone crumble under his majesty of globe prowess? What happened?
No, the Adam, Meakin, and Brian took Flatsy through it. But I at that time, I just was in too much pain. I couldn't even really concentrate. But they'll come in, somebody will come in and they could give you the real details of it. But I was shocked. The problem is, I don't care what was said, but I was shocked that it was coming from our side.
Why?
Well,
Hold on, Reflected. Why? What's shocking? Nothing shocking has been... Why?
Well, the person, he knows enough. He's smart. Brian says all the time he's not stupid. So he's smart. So I was shocked that it was coming from AI, that he did not think pitch data was absolute great proof.
Hold on a second. What? That's a conclusion you've drawn. If it, we're in a debate forum, and often people will put our opponent's position as strongly as they feel is necessary to push us, in this case Adam and Brian, into arguing for Flatsy's benefit, so she understood it at the end of this process. That sounded, at first bluff, like a net positive, and now you've spun it for an individual AI in this instance into a net negative because it's an individual playing that role. Now, I wasn't there, but you're making it seem like AI somehow flip sides to being a baller? Horseshit. Why are you making that assumption?
No. AI did not. Flatsy was telling us that in Discord, he was claiming that he doesn't think it's good proof. So it wasn't that he came in and was trying to challenge her to better the argument. No, it wasn't like that at all.
Okay. And? I'm still a bit lost, Neil. You're shocked
And
about something.
Adam and Brian
I want to feel it with you, Neil. I want to feel the shock. Just get to the bit that's shocking.
Adam and Brian took us through it to the conclusion that what his so-called Globers can come back with, well, we don't have what the gyroscope is actually reading. I think that was it.
Yeah, great. You know how long ago Brian and I did that? Day one. Day you got the pitch data.
Remember.
He phoned me while I was at a home ed class with my eldest daughter, an art class that we do on a Tuesday. And I've never done it before. I excused myself from the lesson. Normally I'm sat flicking through shorts videos on my phone on silent while they're having their art lesson, right? So I went out of the art lesson. We had about 3/4 of an hour conversation with Brian about what potentially could be a rebuttal. Like, you know, it's a bit like, here we go. It's the same scenario when I was at the St. Bees beachfront with Anthony, and he's talking about the projected light from this lighthouse, and I'm saying to him, as the baller, this could be spun as a perfect globe proof. This is how I would spin it. I'd describe it as a Fresnel lens, and I'd talk some shit about it projecting out a point that you can see in the distance. That's how I would try and argue it if I was a baller. And I'd call it the perfect globe proof. That's how I'd spin it, because that's what they always do. They take our evidence and somehow claim that it's the best globe proof in the world. Right? That was my tone with Anthony. Later on, when Anthony wanted to bring up this picture of a single pixel on a dark background taken on this camera, with the tripod then spinning around to see us with a distant light from a lamppost or something near the beach, lighting the back of our heads so you can see our silhouettes, and then it turns around again and sees this one pixel flashing. He wants to release it. I don't. And the reason I don't is because it's such a low standard and of low fidelity that I would go with my argument I put to him at the time when we captured it, which is, this will just get spun into a globe proof, or claimed to be a perfect globe proof. So then when he was telling me in the middle of a debate back and forth via Skype that he wanted to release it there and then, I'm like, they'll just call it, or I said words to the effect of, what, the perfect globe proof, or something like that. I referred to it in those terms. I can't remember my exact terms. But he'd still got his screen shared, this is Anthony, and it got captured by a guy called Cat Earth, who was in the debate in the Hangout at the time, and if a screen share is being shared, everyone can see it, and he just captured it. And he then went forth for about 5 years saying Nathan's a globe believer. Here he is claiming he's got, quote, the perfect globe proof. Like I say, I can't remember the rest of the words around that sentence, but that was the bit that got focused on. Nathan's said he's got a perfect globe proof in the form of this pixel flashing at St. Bees. Anyway, I've forgotten the reason why I went into this example now. There's a current example of exactly the same thing, and I can't remember what it is now. Oh yeah, Brian with his pitch data. So I'm at the home ed class, he calls me up and he's like, well, what could they possibly come back with? This is absolutely cast iron. So I'm like, well, let's thrash it out amongst ourselves. And we get to gyroscopes, and what they'd have to redefine about the principles of a gyroscope and gyroscopic motion, planes of reference, all the things that would have to be redefined in order to pervert the flat baseline in the pitch data, to somehow to suggest that it's deviating from a zero while self-correcting, so that the end result is a flat line. You know, it became utterly absurd as we went through this process over, like I say, about a 3/4 of an hour, maybe, phone call. So, yeah, I mean, it was day one of the pitch data being acquired by Brian, with him saying, what can they do to overcome... And I don't know why he chose me. He's never phoned me before. I don't know why he picked me on this occasion. But he just wanted someone to bat off to say, what can you, me in this instance, come up with if you were a globe believer to try and overcome this? And that's the position I took. That's why I'm referencing it back to Cat Earth, because I'm doing the same role. Well, the reason I'm overall referencing this back is it sounds like AI played that role, and Flatsy benefited from it. That's just how it sounded to me at first bluff.
No, it wasn't like that at all.
Well, then expand on why not. Please share the show. 73 people watching.
Because AI wasn't there at the time. Flatsy was telling us his position.
So you've
in
heard this
Discord.
third hand? Ugh.
Well, I'll get Brian in here.
Why are you even bringing it up? You're just trying to stir the pot.
Because, like I said, no, I'm not. I'm telling you the fact.
No, you're not. You
thinks
don't
that
know the
it's not
facts.
good proof.
Don't bullshit me. You don't know the facts. You know I'm third hand from Flatsy. You weren't even there, man. Let's just drop this.
I was there when Flatsy was telling.
Yeah, I don't
Brian,
need it, Neil.
Adam, and
Thank you.
myself.
Thank you. Yes, you were there when Flatsy was being told about what happened with AI. Wow, how interesting. Bloody hell, Neil. Anyway, do we need another housekeeping question? It's getting so long between me asking these questions that I'm starting to forget them. Put me in a concise
Go ahead,
order.
because it's obvious you don't understand what I'm saying. So start another question.
Or was that little ad hom? I just don't understand, Neil. I absolutely, without question, understand what's going on. I've picked your brains for how it's offensive or shocking, and we got to the root of it all at the end of it. I'm pretty content that I do know exactly what's going on, but thank you for the little ad hom to try and undermine me saying let's move on because you don't really know what's going on here.
So you think that AI was doing that to further Flatsy's knowledge?
No, I
That's the
unpacked what you
outcome,
told
as they
me and spun it into a scenario that I could relate to offer empathy for a person that's not chiming up. He's actually here. He's in the Discord server. He's chosen not to pipe up whilst listening to us. Anyway, moving on from this fascinating discussion about what sounds like a jolly good flat Earth debate with benefits on all sides. Unless you know, AI does pipe up and say, no, actually, I have turned into a baller because of the complete failure that is pitch data, and how gyroscopic motion does actually self-correct from a zero reference because it's moving around a ball to leave it at zero. Maybe he'll go through how that's turned him into a baller. I highly doubt it, Neil. Seems I was correct. Anyway. Did we get... maybe we should start asking them with a slightly different tone. I mean, did we ever get any evidence of distance to the sun? I mean, we've been doing this a long time, but if memory serves me, we never, ever did get any evidence of distance to the sun.
Only
Sticks
what
and
they teach
shadows.
in school.
Say again, Neil?
Only what they teach you in school. 93 million miles away, I think.
Oh, well, you need a flat Earth for that. We've shown the whole full process from start to finish in terms of how you need a flat Earth to derive that value. But did we get any evidence of the measured distance, if there is one, to the sun? Ever? I'm pretty sure we didn't.
Did you say pretty please?
Pretty pleased with sugar on top. Can we get the distance to the sun?
Hold on, I'll check chat.
Yeah, because that's a fantastic resource. I thought you were going to say I'll check Chat GPT, and I was going to go, oh, well, hit and miss. But when you say just chat, that's a step down from Chat GPT.
Have faith in your people, Nathan.
They're not all my people in chat. Maybe that's why it was a mixed bag. The 50% that say, yeah, of course it's a great resource, are the ones propagandizing it. Okay, did we make a decision on which video we were going to cover? Do we need to cover the longer video because it's on a completely different subject? Is the shorter video one that's more relevant to us?
I'll go with the shorter one, which is the first one posted.
Yeah, okay. So, as is always the case, I've forgotten his bloody name already. Oh, I have to stretch it out, and it looks slightly unprofessional when I do this. The Skeptics Guide is the name of this videographer, right? And as is always the case when we cover videos on Flat Earth debate, I encourage you all to toddle along to his YouTube channel and share in the YouTube algorithmic love that we are definitely not afforded as Flat Earthers by leaving him a nice little comment that just lets him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. So as you can see, if you're one of the live participants, there is, along with your timing Unisox Femu, a super chat. Flat Earth cannot work if surface is curved. Yes, good way of putting it, Sasha. Yeah, Flat Earth, which is what it is, cannot work if the surface is curved. Maybe he was listening in on the pre-show to the discussion with Adam. Either way, thank you very much for the super chat, Unisox Femi. There's a link going by to the Skeptics Guide. I encourage you to drop him a comment, letting him know I've sent you at Nathan Oakley 1980. That is all one word, and at sign Nathan Oakley without a gap, 1980 without a gap. Sent me so that he can hopefully do the same for me if he was to make a response video. I mean, it looks in this video by what's on screen like he's making a response to himself, so he's obviously familiar with them. So jolly good stuff. Please let him know I sent you. Hopefully he'd do the same for us if he was to make a response. And hopefully that's enough time for a couple of you at the very least to have actually toddled along and have done this by the time I finish off this call to action. I think I've already established that he's not a friendly. He's going to be very mainstream in terms of his position that he takes here. But then again, we've done a couple of friendly flat earthers and sent people their way yesterday in the form of Phuket Word. So this guy isn't so friendly, but you might still like his content. He might not always be covering what we do in opposition. I think that's enough time for a call to action. I think a few people will have actually toddled along and done a comment. Hopefully, 91 people watching. Hopefully we benefit you, mate. I have no idea what you're going to be covering. As I say, you've been suggested today by Essential Goat. Anything anyone wants to add? Does anybody know of this videographer? He's got 30,000 odd subscribers.
Just quickly, Nathan, if you click in the description box, there's a more button. If you click there, you should see #science. You see that?
Yes, the first one.
Yes, we'll just see how much science is in the video then.
Okay.
About that could actually be seen from any angle, which doesn't work on a globe. Skeptical, more like incredulous. Try being skeptical about the globe for once.
Yes, I'm sure about that. He's speaking utter nonsense. Now, if you have a flat Earth,
So you're straight off to a bad start. When you say someone's speaking utter nonsense, if it's at the beginning of your statement, you haven't got any justifiable reason to state that. So I just see you as, what was the word that was being used there? Incredulous? If you want to use these words, fine. It's you starting with a conclusion that you've got no justification in making. Yeah? It's like me, before saying that statement, pointing out a critique, calling you idiotic, just straight off the cuff. Now, I'm not going to summarize the fact that you've done it at the beginning rather than as a conclusion that's justified, and then call you an idiot for it, although that would be the appropriate place to do it if you're going to summarize someone's actions. You haven't summarized anything. This is your opener. Which just makes you, what's the word, an asshole. There's no need to call names before you've given any justifiable reason to do so. Don't be unreasonable. And we won't have to be unreasonable to you. But given that that's your opener, how do you think my tone's going to be with you from this point forward? With justifiable reason to call you the names that I may, if I feel justified, do call you. We'll see how we get on. Let's see how we do. But I'll have a fair crack of the whip now that that's been your opener, and you'll know why, won't you, for future reference. Probably best not to open with personal attacks on people, because then when someone responds to you, they might take the same sort of tone with you, but with a better reasoning behind it.
right, there's two possibilities in terms of where the moon is.
What, kind of like a false dichotomy fallacy? Oh, what an idiot! Immediately opening with a personal attack followed by a fallacy. Only two options, you say?
If the moon is basically overhead, then yes. From
Sorry, basically overhead. How hyper-specific of you, sir.
different parts of the Earth, it could look as if it's right side up or upside down. But what I said was, if the moon is low on the horizon,
Then you'll need a flat Earth for it. If it's low on the horizon, you just indicated like you were measuring it with an angle with your hand movements. The horizon, you can't have a globe either. You can't have a horizon on a sphere. You need a flat Earth for this. If you're going to measure angles with respect to the moon, you're going to be doing that with respect to a flat plane. If you practically apply anything useful to this celestial item, then it will be utilizing a flat plane.
a critical detail that he neglected. Either if the moon is lower in the sky, not direct.
There it is again. What, lower with respect to the horizon, you can't have on a globe with a measured angle to make it useful in some way. You'll need a flat Earth for it, sir. So a couple of flat Earth references.
Overhead, then either it's within the rim of a flat
Overhead.
Earth.
Again, sorry.
Overhead is with respect to the horizontal plane of reference, using your head as a point to describe that direction from. So,
Excellent.
It's not a globe.
I smile because you justified it. I thought, overhead? Does he need a flat Earth for that? And I thought about it. I thought, I can't justify this on the fly. I suspect you'll need a flat Earth for overhead, end quote. And then you come in like a wrecking ball. I love it.
Well, is it overhead up?
That's what he's basically saying, yeah. That description requires perpendicular to be overhead. Yes, Neil.
In which case, people in different parts of the Earth would see different faces of the moon, something which is never true. Everybody, everywhere, anywhere on the Earth always sees the exact same face of the moon.
So by face, you mean by pure heliocentric assumption, there are multiple views to be had of the moon and we only get one of them? That would be a begging the question fallacy that you're imposing on your opponent when you suggest that he doesn't accept that you're begging the question of sphericity with a different face to see isn't being fulfilled, therefore your false dichotomy is. Obviously, with you having the side in the false dichotomy that wins in this instance, because we don't see the prerequisite other face of the sphere that you assume it to be. Well, no, I don't accept any of these assumptions. Notice how I can concisely rip them to shreds.
Therefore, on a flat Earth model, the moon must be beyond the rim of the Earth.
Rim of what? Is this a straw man fallacy I hear? What an idiot! You silver-haired clown! Why'd you keep imposing straw men on us? I take it back. His opponent had an azimuthal equidistant projection. Therefore, unless it is edited by this guy, which I assume it isn't in reaction, the azimuthal equidistant projection shown by his opponent would have a rim. I take it back.
Which means everyone would be seeing it in the same orientation.
Orientation can only be described with respect to a flat plane also, so you'll never have this on a sphere.
Right? You can't get to the other perspective.
The perspective, you can only have that on a flat Earth. There is no perspective in globe Earth geometry. Mathematics preclude it because they've hijacked it. They're begging the question, proof of nothing. Perspective hijacking Earth curve maths with a sphere edge horizon at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height. That's eye level. In feet, that's above sea level. All requires a flat plane and hijacks perspective. Why are you using these terms, you muppet? Stop using flat Earth terminology.
Without the moon being within the rim of the Earth, in which case you would be seeing the other side of the moon, not...
I can't attack this.
Pardon me.
I can't attack this. It's his opponent that's brought this up because his opponent's a muppet with a azimuthal equidistant projection as seen here in this thumbnail. Go ahead, John.
Is the rim of the Earth, he keeps saying that. Is he talking about the horizon?
No, I just said he's talking about the rim on the azimuthal equidistant projection that his opponent he's opposing has as his claim. So not our claim. I falsely took it apart based on it being a straw man. It isn't. He's responding to someone, so I can't have him on that.
Well, no, I understand that, but he's putting it into a false dichotomy, so he's got a rim then as well, does he
Yeah,
not?
I covered that too. Begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve mathematics with a physical geometric sphere edge horizon below surface level with respect to eye level, both requiring a flat plane. Yes, that's the other side of the false dichotomy. Correct. Anything else? If not, moving on.
No, I just think
Justin,
it's a ridiculous position to put forward if that's his position.
Well, his position is something you taught me. He's got a flat Earth on one side of the false dichotomy. And what's he got on the other side of the false dichotomy there, John?
Another flat Earth.
So it's a flat Earth versus a flat Earth. He just calls one of them a globe. But they're both flat Earth prerequisites, aren't they? All roads lead to a flat Earth. Even these stupid old 2015 false dichotomies put forth by idiots both require flat planes. So it's a flat Earth versus flat Earth false dichotomy then? Yes, it is. That's what the world is, and that's what all positions will require. Earth is measured flat. All positions put in false dichotomy or other will require Earth to be a flat plane, because it is.
Upside down appearing moon. So there's absolutely no way to make it work with a flat Earth model.
With a flat Earth model your opponent holds, but every single description you used in this false dichotomy required a flat Earth as a prerequisite. Describing the angle to the moon, horizon. We covered all of the flat Earth prerequisites that you cannot have on a globe. They won't function, but absolutely do function, will function, and you use them functionally. So Earth is flat, sir. You need a flat Earth more than we do. In this case, for your false dichotomy fallacy. How ironic that you'd be saying it doesn't work on a flat Earth model when there's several flat Earth prerequisites in both sides of the false dichotomy.
The fact is, even when the moon is low in the sky...
With respect to the horizon, like a measured angle. Yeah, Earth's measured flat, mate.
In the northern hemisphere, it'll look...
Hemi what now? Hemi begging the question sphere? No. The only spheres are the celestial sphere. They're measured angles with respect to a flat plane also. But when you beg the question of a antipodal hemispherical position you can hold, no, you can only derive that by measuring a flat Earth to give you radial values and utilizing a second plane of reference, equatorial in nature, that is antipodal. Both systems, north and south, also flat Earth directions, are flat. The fact that you can sandwich them antipodal doesn't give you a sphere to reify to suggest hemispheres as reifiable positions you can stand on. You pathetic amateur. No, don't beg the question of hemispherical positioning. No, we don't travel antipodal. It's not a justifiable position in a false dichotomy. We who've been doing this 10 years can break down your utter shite and humiliate you based on your demonstrable ignorance of the false dichotomy you profess when you reify a hemispherical position to be on. You can't, you aren't. Earth is measured flat in all of the prerequisites in both sides of your false dichotomy. Hemi, what now? Don't make me laugh, son. Oh, grey-haired old cow.
Look one way, and
Good
then
morning.
if you go
Morning. Is that chocolate?
Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
to the southern hemisphere, which I have, the moon looks upside down.
What, when you're upside down hemispherically by way of an assumption of antipodal positioning? No, that only works on a flat plane if it has practical applications, because you're going to be using the planes of reference, north and south in this case, sandwiched antipodal, inside the celestial sphere. Now, for your descriptions, it doesn't quite function correctly when you try and unify moon systems with star systems. That's a story that you definitely don't need to be hearing now, as you're not using it in your example. It's just something else that would be beyond your comprehension, based on how ignorant you've demonstrated yourself thus far with your flat Earth prerequisites.
Because you are upside down relative to,
No, you aren't, dickhead.
where you would be in the northern hemisphere.
Hemisphere that you assume. No, your antipodal positioning system has come from flat Earth measurements, dumbass.
And that's why the moon appears differently. You can only explain that on a global, a spherical Earth.
No, you have assumed antipodal positioning that was derived from flat Earth measurements in the north on a flat plane and in the south on a flat plane. That doesn't mean you can justify a reification of a model that is derived from those flat Earth measurements. The model you believe and now reify exists to make the statement that it can only work on this reified model that came from flat Earth measurements. No, sir. You are, unbeknownst to you, guilty of a reification fallacy. You're part of a religion you weren't even aware of. No, look how the measurements work, and you'll realise that you cannot get elevation angles, like you tried to describe with your arm outstretched to the moon. But we do have practical applications for the moon when we measure it with respect to a horizon that you can't have a globe use for either, because you can't have a horizon on a globe. So no, sir, your reification fallacy is pathetic. That was a good video. We churned our way through it a lot more swiftly than I expected, though. Gotta be honest, because we're right at the end.
It cannot work. It cannot be explained.
Justification?
Say again, sorry.
Did you give the slope-a-dope justification for why you can't have a horizon on the globe?
No, can you do that while I post the link to his video and,
No, he did not.
Right,
Right, the rise over run form.
Go ahead, John.
The rise over run formula places the horizon at 0. But curvature is described as the rate of change of slope. Yet you can't have a slope of 0 and a rate of change of slope. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you can't have a horizon on a globe.
Well, if you did, it wouldn't be straight, that's for sure.
Right. In any event, I've put a link to, I think it's the Skeptics Guide. Yes, it is. to the Skeptics Guide, again, in the live stream chat now, there's over 100 people watching, so please toddle along to his channel and leave him a very polite comment. Don't be aggressive or passive-aggressive, because you'll just get removed by the videographer. Don't swear, because you'll just get removed by the YouTube bots. And genuinely assist him in the YouTube algorithmic love that I know he'll be desperate for, given he's got a similar number of subscribers to me. So he'll want support, and he'll appreciate your comment, even if it is indicating that we've responded to his video. And when he finds out what we've said, he'll be regretting calling his opponent an idiot straight off the cuff, when we've demonstrated why he's an idiot in his fallacious reasoning. But it's probably best that you don't do that in future, because we wouldn't have had any need to call you a grey-haired cow. Anyway, thank you very much for the super chat, Duncan McLeod. Glad that Leslie Nielsen is still going strong. Next time on Police Squad.
The Naked Gun was awesome.
Naked Gun's just Police Squad, but in movie form. I watched Police Squad when I was a kid, before Naked Gun came out, because it's like, I don't know if it's from the 70s, I assume. It used to start off with a squad car with I think it had a red light, or maybe a red and blue, but it was a single red light.
Yeah.
And the way it would start...
That's how the movie started.
Is that how the Naked Gun started as well?
I used to love that shit.
Well, it'd be like...
You would see the light going through the showers. And
exactly, so you're going...
all over the place. It was so stupid.
It's because it's attached to the front of the camera, so it's like a mock roof of a car with a light on it that's attached to the end of a camera. Now, obviously, if you're pushing that down a street, it looks realistically like you've just got a camera attached to the top of a car, and you're filming it drive through the streets. But then when that exact same attachment's going through the showers, and all the girls are going, "Oh no!" and putting towels on themselves, or they're driving through the office where everyone's working, it's like, it just makes no sense.
That's when you know what type of movie you're about to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't make them like that anymore, man.
Or overtly using what would be stage techniques, but where they're not needed. So at the end of Police Squad, I don't know what, we're flat earth debate here. What's going on? It's because the guy's Leslie Nielsen, right? At the end of Police Squad...
He's a legend.
Yeah, he is. What they'd do is they'd conclude whatever cliffhanger they'd got, right? And then the voiceover would come in with next time on Police Squad, and then the credits would start to roll, right? But what they'd do, what you typically do, is either fade out to a different background, or you just pause on the last frame that you shot, right? Or you might fade it into looking like a painting or something, you know, just something interesting visually. But on a stage, you can't do that. So on a stage, you get everybody to freeze. That is to say, they literally stop in whatever position they are in and just don't move. Now, occasionally, you'll see this as a film technique. They'll use that because it's cheap when they need to, right? But in this instance, in Police Squad, where they could pause because they've got the last frame of videography, they ask the actors to freeze frame, but they'll keep the camera rolling. So everyone on stage, on the set, freezes. Then the narrator does the voiceover next time on Police Squad. But then stuff would continue to happen. In other words, the cleaner would walk through one of the doors on set and start vacuuming around all the characters that are frozen in position. Or the set would start collapsing and everything around them would start hitting them on the heads as they're freeze-framed. But obviously they're going to move a little bit because they're just holding a position. So, I don't know, Police Squad was just one of my favourite things from my childhood. I loved Police Squad.
What was the one that got them started, though? Was Airplane, right?
Airplane is the first spin-off before before Naked Gun. So it goes Police Squad, Airplane, Naked Gun.
So wait a second. Airplane wasn't first?
Airplane was first, but Police Squad preceded it. It's just Police Squad's a TV show. And they always used to get the title wrong. So whatever the show was called, it would put it up on screen, and the overdub would be for a completely different title. So on screen it says the crown jewels, and the narrator says the circling buzzard, while it says the crown jewels at the bottom as the title. Just a comedy of
The
errors.
good old days.
They were.
I miss that overtly stupid comedy, man. Like, I don't know. It almost feels like a different world where that wouldn't even work anymore.
It won't, especially in airplane. Remember when she comes over? Excuse me, yo, lady. I speak jazz. Can't do that now.
The jive.
Yeah, the guy in the chair's got food poisoning. Died of meat to the bone. Yeah, lots of
And
teeth.
therefore, it's the globe.
Yes, you're right. We should be segueing by now, John. off
You
police squad.
Because in airplane, the plane was flying flat, straight, level.
Yeah, we can show that with pitch data.
Yes, the plane maintains its altitude with respect to a plane of reference.
What I love the most about the pitch data story is that Wolfie said it would cost over $100,000. You can't get that. Over $100,000. Wouldn't show you anything anyway. You wouldn't even be able to read it. I'm pretty sure it's fairly straightforward to decipher. It's a flat plane that we're looking at.
Yeah, but that should have been a red flag right there. Why are we always so late? Like we were late on everything. They were saying it was flat right in the beginning and we bypassed it. And we're late on that. Somebody says it's gonna cost $100,000, it should be like, wait a second. Why would something like that cost $100,000?
Because it proves a flat Earth.
Anytime the Globers are like, nah, don't pay that no mind. Nah. That's the thing you want to look at. Like, shh, don't talk about 90, guys. Don't get the flat earthers started about 90. And look where we are now.
Think about it, Chocolate. It took us till conspiracy cats giving us a flat Earth, and then we all started catching on. Wait a second, you're giving it to us because you have to, because Earth is flat. When it was being said in 2014.
Yeah, there are certain prerequisites that they can't get around with examples like perspective-based examples. They're always going to have a flat Earth requirement to make those examples. So in the case of your example with conspiracy cats saying, well, I'll give you a flat Earth for this example that I now need a flat Earth to make, it became a bit telling.
I wouldn't say it took him to tell us that.
Neither would I.
They were telling us it was locally flat for a while before that.
No, I'm saying
Locally
bust
flat.
to catch on.
Yeah, so they'd get around it, and when we'd point out that the flat Earth's being needed, but we just wouldn't assert it in the same sort of way that we are today. We were half-stepping around those facts. It's the same with the Google Earth thing, right? When we were looking at the measurements for distances between St. Bees and the Isle of Man, well, we're looking at flat Earth measurements and everything about the mapping system and how it's drawn out, the flat reference plane, the elevation profiles, everything in it was flat. And we just whistled straight past it. And occasionally it would come up, hold on, isn't this an issue that this is all flat or something like that? And they'd be like, no. When you're doing the mapping, it's all, considered locally flat. And we'd just whistle on by like it was that was acceptable because we didn't really know the significance of it at the time. Because you don't, in the back of your mind, you don't think, well, it's all measured here flat as it is shown in the maps because it is flat. That's just too obvious, isn't it? Back then it was.
Something was tapping us on the shoulder. Something was tapping us on the shoulder. You know what it was? Curvature.
That's right. That was the context of the conversation you were having at the time, is how much curvature. So locally flat is to imply that on asymptotic scale it would be curved.
So we were looking for curvature when we should have just been asserting, wait, Earth is flat.
I wouldn't say looking for it.
Well, we were trying to find, right? Show us your curvature, right?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we should have just been saying, buddy, Earth is flat.
Yeah,
Well, that's
those
what we were
points.
saying when we didn't get the curvature we were looking for. Instead of just starting there, like it's just flat, and your curvature that we were looking for came from it being flat. That's the part that it took us a minute to get to.
Yeah, as Neil's pointing out, what we should have said is "Welcome to flat Earth," but we didn't.
It was one of them magic tricks.
Yeah.
Right? What you just said, it was a magic trick because what'd you say they said? It's locally flat. And we whistle right past it. Oh, yeah, locally flat. That's the magic trick.
I mean, we wouldn't have. We'd have debated it, but
we didn't really whistle past.
I was going to say we debated
We
it,
were
but it's just we didn't have a fundamental recognition of the flat Earth prerequisite as I'd now described it, or just now described it. That is to say that there are certain aspects of describing a ball that require you measure Earth flat, but just don't acknowledge it. Well, if you understand it, you can not only acknowledge it, you can point out that that's where the game ends. Now, even if at the time we did acknowledge it, we didn't realise that's where it's game over then, well, Earth's measured flat then, because you'd still carry on arguing about where the Earth curve edge horizon below the surface level that's flat and needs to be measured, and we'll give you the distances. You know, you need the flat Earth for those, but let's just carry on talking about the Earth curve below the surface level that's just been measured flat, because we didn't recognise that the distances we were talking about and arguing about were measured flat when we got the distances. We just took those distances, plugged them into the Earth curve calculator. So we're basically whistling past the graveyard.
Like this, look how much of the building is missing. Really?
How far's the building? Well, it's 20 miles away. Welcome to flat Earth. 20 miles? Linear distance with respect to a plane? Welcome to flat Earth. No. At 20 miles, we've got Earth curve below the surface level. Surface level? Welcome to flat Earth. No. When I raise up above the surface level and get the eye level, I can calculate 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And we go, observer's height in feet, eye level, parallel with surface level. Welcome to flat Earth is all they get again and again and again and again and again and again, isn't it, Neil? Now.
Hold on, there's another one. It's disappearing bottom up.
Up? You need a flat planar reference for up.
Therefore, curve.
Well, the penny dropped.
I had a good old
time when QE was explaining to you. He asked you, "Do you know why Conspiracy Cat said that to you?" And that's when it dropped. When you said, "Yeah, because they're going to need a flat Earth. You can't do it without a flat Earth." Something to that effect. That's when I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, it used to be they would get away with saying something like, "I'll allow myself to use the flat Earth that's needed and simultaneously tell you I'm going to give it to you." Now, when they mention even words that are only useful on a flat plane, we welcome them to flat Earth immediately. That's the difference. But now we're savvy to that fact, Neil. We weren't then.
Yep.
I had a good old time the other day listening to the clip of Timmy Clown coming in and not being aware that people say the horizon's Earth curve as you were saying the horizon's Earth curve. It was wonderful.
No, that's a quote from him.
So
Nobody claims the horizon is Earth curve. Now, can you have a look at my images? What these ones titled Earth curve?
It's so funny because he's like, "Who says that? Somebody says that that the horizon's Earth curve," and he said it so genuinely. Like, bro, you don't even know what you're doing right now. Like, are you okay?
You remember what I said to him?
Working.
You remember what I said to him? You do.
You want to play the clip? I have a little bit of it.
Yeah, if you got it to hand. Yeah, stick it in Master B. I'll play it.
Give me a second.
No worries. Oh, it's like reminiscing.
That's the one where he claimed.
Go on, John.
I was going to say that's the one where he claimed you bamboozled him after acting like he was so much smarter than you. It was hilarious.
No, I think that was more recent, actually. I think the one.
No, that was after. Chocolate's talking about the other instance when he came in before that time.
Correct.
Yeah, he came in with his pictures.
Yeah, it's pictures of horizons, titled Earth Curve. And
Yeah,
then
but who
stated
said-
nobody
I don't
claims
say
the
that.
horizon is Earth Curve. End quote, Tim Osman.
That last time he come in, he told us how crappy his evidence was before he left.
No, what I like about Timmy is when he says, "All right, what are we going to do now? Earth is flat. What are we going to do now?" I don't know what
That
you're
was
gonna
last
do.
time. Yeah, that was last time. So he reached the point where he couldn't get around how we'd refuted his argument and used the flat Earth in his own argument. And the end conclusion was, okay, right, so, yeah, Earth's flat. So what do we do now? We're like, we don't do anything, dickhead. Get lost. You could do whatever the hell you like. I love that. That somehow we have to give them a purpose in life when they come to the awful truth that Earth's flat. Oh, well, what do we do now? I couldn't give a shit what you do now, dickhead. Me, I've got things going on, mate. I don't care what you're doing. Now you know it's flat. No, but you think suddenly we all got to gang together and do something. No. Maybe you'd like to do something. You let me know how that goes. Yeah, maybe get a pitchfork and a torch and go to NASA and go, you lied to me, NASA. You're stealing money. Yeah, just let us know how that goes.
A lot of flat Earth is just learning what not to believe, not to hurt, not to hear, not to listen to, who not to listen to. I mean, replace my fantasy is understandable, but the flat part's always there.
Right, so this is Tim Osman asking who's using the horizon for what now, I assume. Check it out.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're
Only a
talking
little
about.
bit of
Yeah, I know you don't. You're dumb as fuck. The horizon's not a physical edge. Do you need me to rattle off a few quotes from your own side about how non-physical the horizon is? It's 2020, mate. Try and keep up. The horizon is not a physical geometric sphere edge, Tim. Didn't you know? You seem to know about the black swan, but yet you don't know what it means.
What is it then, Nathan?
There's my black swan. It's actually been posted.
Sorry, the black swan we have debunks your... Hey, for the audience's benefit, he's just posted a picture. It's not appearing on screen for whatever reason in this clip. He's just posted a picture labelled Earth Curve. And the picture is of multiple horizons, just so you know what's contextually going on. Your claim that this touted shite that you've just presented, claimed to be undebunkable, has just been annihilated by the fact we don't have a physical sphere edge. And that's what you're claiming is Earth Curve, mate. Maybe ignore it for the 7th time.
Any of those claims? I've never made any of this. You're strawmanning.
Oh, really? So the horizon in this image isn't Earth Curve?
You're
Now
just
that he
strawmanning me.
Strawmanning me or ignoring what I've just pointed out. So you've never made that claim. So the horizon in your image is touted for the last 2 years isn't Earth Curve then, Tim?
Now that Tim is actually
Shut up, whoever that is, shut up. Mr. Solaris, shut up.
Say that? Does anyone say that the horizon is Earth curve?
Yeah, you do, you dumb fuck. So you're saying the horizon isn't Earth Curve, right, Tim? Nobody says that, right? Welcome to Flat Earth. So just for the clarity that it needs, Tim's just made it clear that nobody claims the horizon's Earth Curve, right, Tim?
I've never heard that someone says that the horizon is Earth curve.
Oh, really? What do you think the Earth Curve maths is asserting then, Tim?
you're a straw manning his position.
Can you
and
shut
not
up,
addressing
Mr.
the picture he
Solaris,
posted
or whatever
to you.
you're called? That's the end of the clip. I don't know if anybody would have claimed that Earth's got curvature. I don't know anybody's claiming that.
Even the long
That's-
pause before that, like, wait, I've never heard somebody claiming the horizon's Earth curve. 30 seconds earlier, I just posted the horizons. I just posted it.
I just posted multiple horizons. It's the one labeled Earth curve.
You can't make this up, man.
Right. The argument started 2,000 years ago, or whatever they want to claim, because they claim that the Earth curve mathematics showed how you could measure curvature. So there's no argument.
Black Swan.
Yep.
Well, this has been a fun trip down memory lane today. I think you'll all agree. What with Leslie Nielsen
Thanks
being
to Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you all toddled along to his video and let him know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. I did post the link to his video. What's he called? The Skeptics Guide. So yeah, please leave him a comment if you're amongst the 100 people watching currently. Massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and all that good stuff. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premier Extreme, stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. But if you are watching live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to my Discord and G+ panels. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.